Hi, I'm Charlotte, and welcome back to Brownlow Books. I read a lot of art books, and I read a lot of list type books, where it's just like, here's a list of things, you know? I feel like I wasn't going to review those for you when I read them. I was just gonna like let them go. They're on my Goodreads kind of thing. It's fine. But I just read 50 Women Artists You Should Know. And I have feelings about it, which is the weirdest thing to say about a book that is just a list of women artists with tiny biographies of them. So like, you know, it's an art book. So, let's talk about this book. First of all, I'm going to say, I'm pretty sure that it is a British publisher. So the women are probably British that wrote it as well. There's like 3 women who wrote it. So, I really wanted to give this 5 stars because I was like, yes, women artists, I love it, want more people to read it. But I have some problems with it. Feels so bizarre to be saying this kind of about a list. Like, I just can't get over it. So, first thing I will say is that the biographies of the women focus a lot on the men in their life. But that's because, you know, back in the day, women really only had men to teach them. It's just kind of how it was. So, you know, it's other artists, it's their husbands, their fathers. I think one had a brother, I don't know, like, it focuses a lot on the men in their lives, which I was kind of like, that sucks. My second criticism of it is that the later years, you know, towards the back here, a lot of the women they list there maybe don't belong in a book with, you know, Georgia O'Keeffe and Frida Kahlo. You know? It skews highly experimental. You know, the way that the 80s, 90s, 2000s have been. Like, contemporary art is just kind of weird, but, like, a lot of the art that they're showcasing in here for the later years artists are just, like, they're not names that I know, and they're alive, I'm here, I'm in the art world, like, it's highly experimental art, it's highly controversial, and just because it's, like, controversial and getting viewed a lot or having opinions and critiques and whatever doesn't mean that that person is like a great long-term artist who we should be revering and putting into these books of like women you should know. So I had criticism of that because I'm just like, this is shocking. It's maybe not art. Like, most of it is in the later parts performance art or large-scale installations of like weird things, and it's just like, yeah, I get it, you want to stand out, but like, god damn, it's not good. Like, they haven't stood the test of time. Some of them are only like 10 years old. Like, the exhibitions happened 10 years ago, and it's just like, you don't know this is going to stand out in the long term. Like, towards the front of the book, we have, you know, like, the Middle Ages, Baroque, right up until, like, where does it start to get weird? Like, in the late 1900s? That feels weird saying. I was born in 84, like. So, didn't enjoy that. But my number one problem that I have with this is a lack of inclusivity. As I said, I believe it's a British publisher. I ran a tally of the 50 women artists that I should apparently know. I already knew 10 of them. I didn't like all 10 of them, but I at least knew of them. I had seen the art before, I knew the name, etc. So, my tally revealed, of these 50 women artists, 47 of them are European or North American born white women. There is not a single black woman or African woman in this book. There is no Asian or Asian American woman in this book. There is one Latina, as I said, Frida Kahlo, born in Mexico, and 2 Middle Eastern born artists. And they're way towards the back because they're recent, which is fine. So basically, I feel like this should be called 50 European women artists you should know. It skews extremely European. Like, of those 47 Europe and North American born, I'm pretty sure that like 3 of them were actually born in North America. It introduced me to a Canadian artist that I didn't know, but that's because she moved to England when she was 3. And by the way, Emily Carr, not in this book, which I feel like is a grave oversight. So yeah, I really wanted to give this 5 stars. I really wanted to be like, yeah, women artists, but it just kind of left me feeling let down. Like, there's a lot of beautiful art in here. I enjoy reading little biographies of the women, whether I knew them or not when I started. But, like, you gotta mix it up, you know? There are a lot of artists out there that are not, like, in the cultural milieu of the person who wrote the book, and they're great artists, you know? So I feel like they're missing out on things. It's just like, hey, Europe, what the fuck up? You know? Here's your artists. You know them, you like them, here they are. So I feel like there's definitely something missing. So my 5 stars is not 5 stars. I'm kind of wavering between 3 and 4 stars because the inclusivity thing, the diversity, is really a thing that I wanted in this book. Like, I can push aside the fact that their biographies all contained the men. I can push aside the fact that, like, the experimental artists, which have not been long-term tested, are a woman artist I should know. I can push that aside. But just the lack of inclusivity. Like, I finished this last night and I'm still feeling disappointed in it. And I'm like, I want the women artists. I read a lot of art books. Like, I have so few that are focused on women, you know? Like, women were not artists. It's been much more recently that, like, women can be an artist without the support of their father, their lover, their husband, whatever, you know, whatever. But it's just like, I just wanted it to be better. Like, the tiny little biographies were well written. They had little timelines on the side. Like, I enjoyed the heck out of that. Like, look, it gives me all kinds of stuff here. Little picture of them. If they didn't have cameras, it's like a little painted self-portrait, which is cute. But, like, it even gives me, like, books here about the person where they show up in other books. And I'm like, that's awesome. If there's books that are, like, entirely about one female artist, I am fucking there for that. I'll read that. But, like, just a letdown. I don't know how many more times I can say that. It was a letdown. So I'm wavering between 3 to 4 stars. I wish Goodreads would let me put a half star. I know not everybody wants that, but I want that. So I guess, I don't know. I mean, my favorite female artist was not in the book. And she's a pretty famous artist. Like, not just in Canada. I guess I love Emily Carr. Tell me in the comments if there's a female artist you love. I'll check them out. Maybe they're in the book, maybe they're not. Just let me know. Let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you later.